Welcome to Rich Conversations. I'm so excited to be joined by Karlita Williams, who is visiting us all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show for your third time.
For my third time, and word on the street is that Joe's at 4, so I'm gonna need to.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a few people that are at like 3, 4, 5 potentially.
We're gonna have to make this a weekly situation, Rich, because I can't keep getting beat by these people.
Well,
but
I don't. I think our last episode was like 84, 80, somewhere in the 80s, and now we're around like 250. So we got
really. That's crazy, dude. What's the last thing? What did we talk about last time?
We were talking about Brooklyn, because you had been living there for a while, so we were talking about like Brooklyn, Chicago versus New York, as far as culture goes, what you were up to, what you've been learning. A good time. We could have recorded a podcast episode when I visited you. What was that? Back in February? That would have been great.
Yeah.
So, but now here we are.
Here we are again.
Okay, let's catch up a little bit. I don't have anything really prepared, so we're just gonna hang out.
Sounds like me through all of college.
So what have you been up to?
Dude, you know when you're just kind of like just cruising through it? That's where we are. We are cruising through it. I am playing ping pong all day. I wore my ping pong shirt today.
Yeah, you are really into ping pong.
Ping pong is life. Table tennis, if you want to call it that. Just got myself a racket. I work at a ping pong club, and when I'm not working at the ping pong spot, then I'm playing ping pong. I play at the park. I play indoor ping pong. I play outdoor ping pong. Got some like leagues and such. So that's pretty cool. And then I was still working at the restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah,
how would you describe?
That's what I'm not doing.
Yeah, we had some good conversations back in February. And you're no longer teaching.
It's heartbreaking, dude. I love teaching. Teaching is the best thing ever, but it just doesn't pay the money, man.
Yeah, you were like the question. So we went to what was that one place we went to?
Chevella's
or something. Yeah. So we had some margaritas, happy hour special.
Yes.
We were talking about, you're like, there's so much money in New York. How am I not like getting more of it? Like, I don't know.
Why isn't everyone paying me their big money? Like, I'm a star,
yeah.
And I want people to pay me as such. And no one is just I'm getting really tired of no one walking up to me just handing me money. Like, getting really sick of it.
Yeah.
Trash, you ask me.
Okay, so you're doing ping pong. How would you describe your progress from when you started playing ping pong to where you are now?
So, fun fact is that I was the president of my high school ping pong club. Now,
okay,
when I was doing that, like everyone was kicking my butt. Like I was just there for the hang. There was like, we would do little tournaments with other schools and like other selective enrollment schools or whatever. And all the other schools had all the Asian kids that were like, doing the game, and me and my like friends were just like, la 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 la, like,
yeah.
My stoner friends were kicking my butt too. But now I have a coach. I take lessons. I got some techniques now. I'm not just hitting the ball around. I got myself a new racket last week, so that's pretty fun. So we're getting there. I'm still getting my butt, but like I'm getting my butt kicked by better players and not by like stoners. So
okay,
that's pretty good. There's different groups of people that I play with at different places for different occasions. There's like the foreigners that hang out at the park and they've just been playing ping pong their whole lives, so they're just like just crushing. Then there's like the people with like the clear like techniques, and it's cool. It's cool. My progress, I've gotten a lot better. And every time I play somebody and every time I lose the game, they're like, wow, Karlita, you've gotten so much better, but I still like lose the game. But everyone's so proud of me for my progress.
So what's like the culture like in the ping pong environment that most people wouldn't understand or get?
Okay, so first of all, there's a giant ping pong community. Like, it's actually pretty cool. It's This does not exist in Chicago, just so we're clear. Like, I can name you 2 places to play ping pong in Chicago. In New York, there's ping pong tables at every park or all the big parks. There's ping pong tables at a bunch of the bars. I can name you at least 10 different places to play ping pong in New York. And the culture here is like, imagine a community that's big enough where you always have someone to play with, but small enough where you know too many people. And you already know what happens there in any type of thing. I've already gotten to a point where I've dated like 3 different ping pong dudes, but they all know each other. Like it's already too much, Rich.
Like, oh man.
This is like the TMI that someone in my group is gonna find on the internet. But like, I dated one dude, then he texted the other dude that I had dated, and then the other guy had texted this guy. And I'm like, see, this is why you gotta find you a nice big community with lots of people. That's how it was in like Chicago music scene. Like I felt like I hadn't met every single person there was, you know? And
yeah,
in world, it's a lot of dudes. So any world where it's a lot of dudes and not a lot of girls, it's just a lot of what my friends call thirst buckets.
Thirst buckets.
Just like, hey girl, I like your nice form. You want a lesson? You want a free lesson? And I'm just like, no man, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty dope. I have a lot of friends that some of my friends like play poker together. I'll like go out to different ping pong friends. So I finally found friends, Rich. It's going great.
That's good. Yeah. I've been thinking about New York. I'm reading this book right now. It's a Bob Dylan biography. So I'm on the chapters where he's in New York. And I'm just like, I want to visit my friends in New York again.
Yeah. I'm totally going to bring you to my ping pong spots, by the
way. Okay. I'll get that checked out. How would you describe, so something I've been thinking about over the last few weeks. I'm processing a particular event that occurred. And I feel like a lot of people don't like know me in a way.
Okay.
And so a lot of times people are projecting what they think they know about me onto me and like how to handle stuff. And it's just like kind of annoying to me. How would you describe to listeners and viewers what it's like hanging out with me and what I'm like?
Rich, why would you pick me to ask that question? Okay. My man, Rich. Okay. The thing about Rich is, what did I describe you as? I think that Rich is the human embodiment of live, laugh, love. That is how I describe Rich. Rich is just like living his best life. It is such a brand of like a person, but I've heard people describe it, but no one ever really follows through with the lifestyle. Rich is very much like, Rich is living every moment to the fullest. And people say that stuff, but they don't really mean it. But Rich has got like lists of like what Rich wants to get done in his life. And everyone else like, I'm gonna do this. And they don't do nothing. Rich does all lists, which I think is amazing. Super, as far as like top skills, follow through. Rich is great follow through. He finishes everything he says he's gonna do. And that's dope. I have the follow through of a fruit fly. And you wanna know how far they make it? Not very far. They just to do nothing. And like that is like my number one thing I admire about Rich. Rich wants to like have all the experiences, do all the stuff. I'm finding like so much trouble in dating because I keep going out with these people who don't like doing stuff, Rich. They just want to like do nothing. My only goal that I want to do all day, I want to be a live, laugh, love person, but the people around me are whack. So Rich, if you hung out if we can hang out all the time, that'd be dope. Rich loves activities and doing things and seeing the sights. Like the joy you see in like a toddler's eyes when they get a new experience is the joy in Rich's eyes. Every time, man. Like, I'm so happy to be here. And Rich just appreciates every experience. And I think that's dope. My friends are weenies and Rich is great.
See, I prescribe a lot to the philosophy. Just get your stuff done and then you play. Get your work done and then you can go play. Yeah. And the more disciplined you are in your work, then you have more freedom to play.
But hear me out on this. I have been meeting people who I've never encountered before. But some people, so which we would call a work-life balance, right? And so I realized the thing about like my mom, she is very much on the work side, and she has no problem doing the hard work, but she is unable to force herself to do any of the play. Like she won't take the breaks and take. I've been meeting people who, even if I suggest like, hey, let's do this, all they say is I have to work. And I'm like, okay, but like you have to not work too. And I meet people who literally understand that concept, because it's like if they're not working, then they're not doing anything, you know? That like what is that called? It's like the hardcore productivity. Like I have to be productive at all moments every day. But I think it takes a special skill to realize that like those in-between moments, the resting, the free time, the fun time is also like productive. And I think it takes, you have to recognize that as a skill. Like I am taking something from this time that I'm not putting out work. So I think you do a job of like, again, I'm saying it like, it sounds like I'm joking, but it's a skill that I think I have. Not a lot of people find the skill in like being able to take something from all the experiences of the day, you know?
Yeah. I think sometimes I get like right now, I think I'm a little too, actually, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like my mind is on all day, every day.
Okay.
But also like maybe after this afternoon, I'm just going to walk to the lake and just be there for a little bit.
And like that amount of not feeling bad about not doing something else is a skill.
See, I've trained my mind now to realize that most of the life is all about problem solving. And so when you're doing work, you're so like in it. But then if you just go for a walk or just play for a little bit, the solutions just come to you. And you get more done in 20 minutes of play than like a full 8 hours of work.
Yeah, dude. It's like, yes, that makes a lot of sense. I was who else was I talking to? So my friend was like talking about like some break with her boyfriend or whatever. And I forgot. In music, they would be like, you know, sometimes the rests are as important as the notes. And I'm like, oh yeah. Because if it was just notes all the time, that would suck, right? You gotta like have the rests to appreciate the notes. Basically.
You said the notes?
The notes are the sounds, the rests are the not sounds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like the rests are as important in the music as the notes, because the rests give rhythm to it. And without the rests, it would just be notes. And there's no rhythm here. So being able to like know when to take those rests and how to use them effectively is important to the rhythm of life, Rich. And yeah,
that's true.
I think that's what I think it is to be friends with Rich, is to have a nice time with someone who really appreciates, just like you just really appreciate life. And I love that about you. My friend, like I just don't meet a lot of people that really like, and not in such a serious way. You seem like you're very like serious about all the little things you do, but like you don't take it all too seriously where it's like, you're not like, well, I have to get this recording done right now. It's just like, cool, man, you want to like record something or what? Like, what's up? And it's like,
what's up?
What's up, man? You want to do the thing? You want to go to the museum today? You want to go to the museum tomorrow? You want to go to the museum every Remember when we went to those galleries?
Yeah, let's run down a list of things we've done together.
Okay.
Go.
I would like to discuss, and I would like to tell your viewers about how I introduced you to the fun of New York galleries as opposed to the general large museum.
But we have gone to the museums together. We've gone to the Art Institute of Chicago together, MoMA together. Did we go to MoMA together twice or no? At least once.
Describe the MoMA.
Okay, so we hung out in Central Park and then we walked to MoMA.
Yes, I looked very great that day. I love that outfit.
Yeah, you did look great that day.
Thanks. Yes, we did a couple museums, but how do you compare the experience of so I guess if you don't live in New York, whoever listens to the podcast, if you don't live in New York, there's like two big neighborhoods in New York where there are bunches of galleries, like right after each other, there'll be just blocks, and you can go to probably like 20 galleries. They're all free. They're just small little exhibits.
Yeah.
That's what I've been kind of exploring a lot in New York. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it that like each one was unique in itself. Like everyone you go into this, like I remember that big one. I really loved that one that was
The floors.
yeah, it had the floors and it had this massive space and the lighting was really cool. And it like you were in this wide open space. And the photos we took there were really cool.
Oh, they were like playing Pokemon in the back. That place was so amazing. And I have
Yeah.
no idea where that was.
Yeah, that's probably another thing too with the galleries. It's like you go to so many that you're like, where was that one? Where was that one?
Yep.
And the architecture, it's like it's an experience you can't really have anywhere else except New York because you have all these what do you call those? They're not brownstones. They're like
Oh,
they got
style of building.
yeah.
The buildings are just all so close. Like that's so like the buildings are just so close that it's just like
Yeah.
rows of like buildings.
And the bricks, they're not like the bricks here in Chicago. The bricks here are a little wider, whereas the New York buildings are older. So they're like a little bit more narrower. And then they have all the stairs, the outside
the fire escapes.
What do you call it? The fire escapes. So it has this really neat view and the streets are all narrow and it's like dense. So just walking among that while you're going to all these different galleries, and then we're taking photos when we're in the galleries and such a fun time. Then there's a pizza place on like every other corner. So we got some great pizza. I love New York style pizza the best. And I'm not afraid to say it. There's a New York style place. There's a New York style place close to me now on Broadway. And yeah, the pizza's great. You know, you get a little bite in, then you're good, then you keep going on the tour. I like how the curation of the galleries is more to an individual's taste. It's like I'm curating this based on the taste, the art that I like, the art that I make, rather than a museum where it seems like there's a lot more levels of getting approved or whatever. It's more just like it's more like grassroots. It's more like just like on the ground. This is what I like. Here it is. You know?
I kind of think it's like the difference between being like releasing your own music or like being on a record label, right? Like if you're on a label and you're in a big, like if you're in a big museum, you can make your own music, but it still has to appeal enough to the masses that label is going to make money on it.
Right.
Going to let you put it out kind of sometimes. But if you're making your own music and releasing it, you can make whatever you want and it's yours, and the people who want to see it are going to come to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the big, like everything, the big museums are like pop music. Like they has to be understandable enough to just like the regular rando that they'll put it in a jump spot and people would pay money for it. Let's talk about how all those galleries are free. And that's the best.
And something that I often think about when I'm going to the like Art Institute, because I'm a member there. And so when I go, it's like most of the artists, at least maybe when they started off, like they're going against the grain. The reason why their art is there is because they were like innovative and had all these different ideas and just express themselves in ways that were different and push boundaries in their time. Yet like now the way art is communicated, or the people that go there have just like a textbook idea of like what art is.
Yep.
And so the whole like that's where the galleries come into play. It's like all about art is about like expressing yourself in this like authentic way, and you just do what you want. But then you have like all these art students that come into the museum and they're like, it's almost like it's boxing in their own view in a way.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I wish that those galleries were just like, I don't know how many people go there because I don't even understand how people like work. It seems like because when you're there, no one else is there with you. So I'm curious to know, like, is that person working there just sitting by themselves all day? I don't know what the foot traffic is like in those galleries. I don't know if enough people know about them.
Yeah.
Like, I wish more people did.
Yeah. I'm also curious about like the financials of those. Like,
I don't know. I think they make money on events and like hosting.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend that owns a gallery. I think we might have gone there. And
yeah, we did.
She hosts different artists will have different parties at her space. Because I mean, New York rent is expensive, so they have to be making money on something.
So you think they rent out the spaces for parties and events, and then they make up rent that way, or they could sell a painting for like $5,000 because people do that in New York.
Oh yeah, people buy some expensive art in New York.
I think when we were going through the galleries, didn't we have a question? Like our biggest question was like, so how do they deal with shipping? Like shipping when you buy a paintings and say you're coming in from Amsterdam and you're just walking around these streets and you're like, I like that art. I want it shipped to my place in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
The logistics of like mailing the art there, it's got to be like wild.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy in charge of getting that there safely.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I got a question. Did you what was the game you were asking me about?
Okay. So
I have this.
So again. So the night before we went to the galleries, we got like a couple bottles of Bordeaux, and then we were out over in your Crown Heights apartment, and we played the game. Are We Strangers? What's the game we played?
We're Not Really Strangers.
We're Not Really Strangers.
You should get this game. I feel like you would like. I feel like all of your like guests would love.
We had such a fun time playing it. I hadn't played like a game like that in a while. You know, just like sitting around and you're like playing card games, not like poker and stuff like that, but just like fun activities with other people.
I'm glad you like doing.
So I thought that was such a fun night. So this was back in February. We started off at Chevella's. I was coming from the Met, and so I made it over there, and then we had margaritas, and then we walked around, got some wine, then we went back to your place, and then we played like this game all night.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. So
Would
I
you
thought,
like a question for one?
Yeah, why don't we do a couple of these?
Okay. All right, there's levels, right? There's different levels.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's pick one from level 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick one that's like, reasonable. Okay.
Describe this game real briefly for listeners and viewers.
This is the kind of game that you would play. It's like an icebreaker question kind of game. The slogan is leave connected. You're supposed to, learn. You can play it with strangers. You can play it with people you're dating. You can play it with your friends. And you just ask questions back and forth, kind of.
Yeah.
This question, it says, as a child, what do you think I wanted to be?
Okay. So I'm answering this for you.
Cool.
I feel definitely that some type of entertainment or like
really?
Give me a mic, put a spotlight on me, let me shine.
That's so funny.
So anything that would probably allow you to do that. So I don't know, were you into singing or I know you play violin, so
with a viola, Rich.
Viola, my bad. I know you're into music.
Rich, this question.
That's what I thought.
Think about it. You should know this answer. I've always wanted the same job my whole life.
I don't know.
4, 3, 2. A teacher, Rich. I've only ever wanted to be a teacher.
See, I was gonna answer that, but I thought it was too easy.
Because I've literally only ever wanted to be a teacher.
Because you have been a teacher.
I know, and it worked, and then I stopped doing it. What a life. Rick, I think that you wanted to be, you're a big dreams kind of guy, right? Like you got big,
yeah.
You're giving me like, I feel like you wanted to like study, you like learning and you like dreaming big. So you're giving me like, I want to be an astronaut or something, but I'm thinking paleontologist just because I know that you like the museum now, or some sort of like weird sciencey guy who like knows a lot about stuff, or you're the thinking type. So maybe, I've never seen you play an instrument, but I feel like you would have wanted to be like a singer-songwriter. It seems like something you'd like.
So those would all be incorrect.
Okay.
It's only really like, I don't know. See, paleontologist, it's on the list, but there's too much science. There's too much like nitty gritty details you have to do.
Okay.
And you got to sit there all day and for hours, just like brush.
You're more of an ideas person than like a studying facts person.
Yeah. I always wanted to be a professional athlete. That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. Football, basketball, baseball, whatever.
Rich, I would have never known that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Level 2. When you're asked, how are you? How often do you answer truthfully?
Oh, this is a fantastic question. Are you asking me this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is something I've been thinking a lot about recently, is because you get, especially like bartending, I'm asked that and everything in just everyday life. And I think to myself, do they really want to know? Do you really want me to share? Because I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing incredible. And my life is the best life I could have ever dreamed of. Is that what you want me to say? Or do you want me to just say, yeah, same old. Like, what am I supposed to say? If that was the
answer, I want to hear all of it. If you're doing that great, I kind of want to hear that. I mean, maybe if somebody else isn't doing great, they'd be like, shut up. But like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if I say that, then they'll feel bad. But at the same time, too, why aren't you doing more to make your life this way?
That's so funny. I think of it the other way. When people ask me how I'm doing, I'm like, do they want to know that like I'm having a terrible day and I'm mad at everybody? Or should I just like be like, yeah, great, everything's fine and I don't hate any of you? Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's such a silly question to ask. It's such a rhetorical question. Like,
yeah,
one actually wants to know how you're doing. And it's funny because if they do, they'll say, hey, how are you? And then maybe 10 minutes later, like, so how's it going? Like, you have to ask the same question, but like mean it this time or something.
It's almost not a question. It's just a greeting.
It's a greeting.
It's the same as hello. It's like, it's not no one's actually asking that question. It seems like it's just like a
formality.
Yeah.
But what happened if you didn't ask it? Like the conversation is like weird. Hi. So what are you doing? Like, hi. I like your shirt. I don't really know what comes next. There has to be that, like.
You mentioned something that reminds me. I think something we could do more and get better at, in particular myself, is complimenting people on their whatever it is about them, whether it's their glasses or their outfit they're wearing or how they did their hair or like, it's nice. Yeah. So that would probably be better than like how you're doing.
I got a question for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got an argument with some ping pong guys at the park.
Okay.
So they're sitting at the park, yelling at women across the street. Hey.
Okay.
Hey, girl. And I'm like, why are you talking to those women? They're like, well, I want to say hi to her. I'm like, okay, but you're nowhere near her. Why are you yelling at her? And they were like, so then I got this argument with these guys about like, well, women don't want to hear compliments anymore. They can't just say thank you. And I tried to explain to them, if I'm looking like a hot piece out there today and 10 dudes want to talk to me and like 5 of them want to say like, hey, yo, ma. And 5 of them want to say, wow, nice shirt. I don't want to stand there long enough to figure out which people are trying to yell at me and give me a compliment, and which people are trying to be like, hey, yo, and which people are going to try to murder me. Like, and they were like, well, you should just say thank you. I'm like, I don't want to stand there long enough to find out what anyone has to say. They're like, that's not fair. I'm like, so what happens when one guy is inside yelling at women? Now I am less likely to want to talk to the next person that wants to talk to me, because I'm probably going to assume that more people are just trying to yell at me. Does that
So what would be the best way to approach you then?
That's so what I'm saying is there's no problem with people trying to approach people with compliments. The problem is that there's so many people approaching people with other sorts of nonsense and garbage that I don't have time to filter who's saying what. I don't want any of them to talk to me because half of them are yelling at me from down the street. Like, and so I'll try to explain, because there's 2 guys at the table. One guy's like, well, I always give a compliment. And the other guy's over here yelling. I'm like, see, this is the reason that I don't want to accept your compliment, because I've been listening to this guy yell all day. Like, and they were just like, that doesn't make sense. You should just give them a chance. I'm like, that is how women get murdered. No, I'm not giving chances. Like,
giving chances.
I just stand around and find out. Hell, heck no. That's what they call heck around and find out. It's a no for me, Rich. And anyway, it does work for me when people.
Well, okay. Well, okay. So something I've noticed, I've observed about life is that the only people that give me compliments are the elderly, especially older Black women, and gay men, and homeless people on the streets.
What? Rich,
you know,
why isn't everyone complimenting you?
That's what I'm saying. Where are all these women giving me compliments? Like, I put effort into what I wear and stuff.
You do.
And the gay men notice, thank you very much. And when I'm walking down the street downtown, there'll be guys asking for change, and they're like, yo, dude, that coat is awesome. And I'm like, thank you. Here's a $10 bill. I appreciate it.
Good way.
Like, so where are all these women with their compliments?
Rich, I would compliment you every day if I was out there, but I'm not. Yeah, you've really upped your wardrobe game these days. You're out here styling every day.
I gotta say, this is partially due because of you. We went to the Art Institute back in like a few years ago when you were still living here, and we meet up, and then you're like, and I was like, what? She's like, I don't want to be seen near you while you're wearing that shirt. It was a teal, like aqua colored.
It was such
shirt.
a bad. It looks like the kind of shirt you buy. You know that they sell T-shirts at Walgreens. Like, it was like the kind of shirt, and I was just like, why would you pick that? And I have this thing where I can remember every mean thing I've ever said to a person, and I'm just like, what is this shirt, Rich? And I was so upset. And you've never worn that shirt since, and you've always looked good ever since that shirt. So
yeah, I can take feedback and criticism, and that was something I'm now aware of. Another thing too is I used to cook with no spices, and you were over one day, and I made this meal for you that I make for myself. It was like with all these different vegetables and chicken, and then you're like, Rich, you don't season your food? And I'm like, what do you mean? And you just like, your mind was blown.
He said, I'm making fajitas, and then he put salt on it. And I was like, you've made chicken with salt. And then he says, well, what would you put on it? So I went in his cabinet. We had some chili lime seasoning, some garlic powder, some stuff. But you were killing me. And you know what, Rich? I make that meal all the time now with the mangoes. Oh, and you ate the mangoes with the peels on? Weird. I don't understand. But
I don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
Okay, good. I mean, good fiber. We love a good, healthy, system. But yeah, no, that meal was great. We seasoned it, and now I make it all the time, Rich. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
But anyway, on the art of compliments, I think that people should do them, and less people should be creepy, so more people can accept genuine compliments. Would you like one more question before you leave me?
Yeah, let's do one more question. I gotta get going soon.
This is the perfect question for you, Rich.
Okay.
And I have an answer for you too. Based on what you learned about me, what book would you recommend that I read?
Wow, this is a fantastic one. Let's see.
I'm gonna go get my book too. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know which one. Okay. I don't have it here with me. This is a problem I'm trying to solve, that sometimes when I lend books out, I don't get them back. So now I assume I'm not going to get them back, and I like write notes in them and I just give them out. But there's this book by Chuck Klosterman called "But What If We're Wrong."
I have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you read it?
I read half.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
And-
finish it.
Yeah.
That was a
I
great.
feel like did I tell you about that book? I feel like I mentioned it.
We've talked about Chuck Klosterman before, but I bought this from a thrift store. I love Chuck.
Really?
I used to read him in high school.
Yeah. His new book is the 90s. It's like this this was a really enjoyable book. It's basically like talking about the 90s in this like cultural anthropology that word anthropological kind of way, but also like giving his experience and perspective of the 90s. And so it got me thinking of like, people know the internet of today, but like when we were younger, what it was like, and you know, just the whole exploration and excitement behind the internet before it is what it is now. I don't know. It's he's my favorite writer, I would say. And But What If We're Wrong? Takes a look at the present as if it were the past. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, that's a great recommendation, Rich, because the book that I love, the book that I want you to read is All About Love by Bell Hooks.
Okay. What's that about?
The book is basically about like how like finding and putting love in every piece of your life. It's got like chapters like community, like honesty, commitment, justice, clarity, loss, greed, value. The one about values is one that really reminds me of you, about like finding ways to love everything that you're doing, and like how important that is for just like living a life of purpose. And that's what you do, Rich. Yeah. You live a life of purpose. And I think that's it.
Do. Everything I do is like with intention and meaning.
Yeah. That means a lot.
It's like every day. Yeah.
This book, love it. I really, really, you're going to love this book. I know you'll love this book.
Okay. Who's it by?
Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks.
Yeah. And it starts off about like, you know, why is it that men are the ones that are writing books about love, but men aren't the ones that are reading books about love? And it's really interesting.
All you need is love.
All I need is love, Rich.
Well, Karlita, it's unfortunate that this was a shorter episode, but I always have so much fun. We got to do this again soon.
Heck yeah. I'm coming for you, Joe. I got to get some more episodes in.
That's right. Well, thanks again. And thanks for watching and listening to our podcast, Rich Conversations.
Love you, boo.
Thanks, Karlita.
Talk to you later. Bye.